It's Dragon Ball time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball superhero movie. It's Piccolo. Piccolo is one of my favorite characters. Actually was my favorite character when I first started watching Dragon Ball Z. That's why I decided to pick this one up, because the main question behind the Dragon Ball superhero figures is how much is new here. We just got a Piccolo, I feel like a year ago or like a couple of months ago. It hasn't been that long. So I really want to know what this one's about. Let's have a look. Hello, I'm going to have like a quick unboxing part. I haven't really done this before, but I was just like, since this is a momentous occasion. Yes, I got this figure very early. Full disclaimer, I got it from Hobby Link Japan. Not sponsored, by the way. But it did show up there. Saw it on Twitter. Somebody posted it, and I was just like, alright, I'm gonna go in on it. And here's the box. And the main thing I want to have a look at is how much this figure stacks up against the last review. This figure stands at about 16.5 centimeters to the top of his head, which means we would be going up to close to 6.5 inches tall. Size comparisons. Here's Jalter. One of my previous reviews, the Pop-Up Parade Korone Yubi SH Figuarts Silver Goku, his son, Mr. Piccolo! Mr. Piccolo 2.0, an upcoming review, Figma Ai Nishibe, and Darkseid. Now I think let's get the most important part out of the way. Here's Piccolo 2.0, which was recently released, and here is the brand new figure. How does it stack up? How much did they recycle, and how much is new? I can tell you, and I'm very pleased by that most of it is new. Like, it's probably like a lot of remodeling and whatnot. It's not like brand spanking new, but still, there's a lot more going on over here than just replacing a head sculpt or replacing a chest or whatever. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Starting at the bottom now, we're here. You got the feet, which are now a lot more rounded, with the differently modeled compared to like the old school. This is like the art style of Dragon Ball, which keeps changing, and they started doing more rounded feet and Broly movie, so there's that. When it comes to the pants, it looks similar. I think the thigh part is pretty much the same, also the knee part. But then at the lower half, you can tell it's a lot wider at the end of the pants. And then also you have the more manga colors once more. What I mean by that is, like, first of all, you have the red instead of the light blue belts, and also instead of the pink, you got like the more beige tone in his arms. Now the chest area. That was one thing which I complained about with the Piccolo 2.0, that he looks kind of fat, and it's just very straight. His chest could be a little bit wider, and they fixed that. You have a lot more of a narrow hip part, the lower torso actually, makes it look a lot more muscular, and I'm not really sure if the chest part is wider, or just because of like the elbow flaps, the shoulder flaps over here, but it does seem to be better. Also, he does, as you can tell, does have a little bit more size. Let's go back to that, because also that's very much important, because Piccolo in the show towers really over everybody else, and really put some respect on that man. Also, I can confirm you have the exact same connections in the back for his cape. This Piccolo doesn't come with a cape, but you are absolutely able to connect the cape of Piccolo 2.0. Just kind of slide it over there, and then mostly this part pegs into the back. And then you have the lower flaps get in there. So you can put that cape on this Piccolo, no questions asked. And that's actually very cool. For the face sculpts, also they did a little bit. He looks younger. I don't know, he just looks younger. And I feel like the green on the newer version looks a bit more vibrant, just a tiny bit. And I really much appreciate that. Sorry for the head sculpt. I don't know where I have my Piccolo parts from the 2.0. Also, as you can tell, the arms. This one's a lot thicker than this one. Hey, he looks a bit more slimmed down, and his Namekian anatomy parts, I'm just going to call that the pink one, also a lot differently placed on the newer version. You have the flaps on the side, which this one doesn't have. That's just a design choice, or like probably just to align more with the new cartoon. Oh my god, anime coming out. I'm sorry, that was a sin I just said there. But yeah, overall, that's the comparison, and I do believe I like this one better. Let's still have a quick look at this guy on his own. As I was saying, the head sculpt looks very nice. I feel like the ears are a little bit shorter though, but still Spiky has a bunch of detail, and it's very clean overall. I don't know why they mold the antennas that way, because like they are a little bit brighter than the rest of it, and you can't even move them around in the holes over there. Like why you do it like that? I guess it keeps them from breaking off too quickly, but yeah. Paint on the face is amazing. Then you also have the paint in the chest area. Like even this part goes down a little bit more, so as you can tell. There's a tiny bit of red peeking out, which is a nice attention to detail actually. And then in the back, as I showed you, you have the panel which you can take off. It looks pretty good. You have some more molded detail. And also paint. I mean, the paint overall, it does look good. And it is painted, which is like, oh my god, paint, I love it. Then we go down to the chest area, well, the hip part, as I told you earlier. It's a lot more, it has a lot more V-shape and it makes them look bigger, and I enjoy that very much too. Got the arms, which from what I can tell, they're not painted. The green, that is. It's just like a little bit rubbery plastic. It feels a little bit more rubbery. But they do have all the detail in there. The muscle work looks pretty good. And then for the beige and the red part, do have some bleeding here and there. But for the most part, it looks fairly clean. Also have the painted fingernails on both sides, of course. Down to the red belt, which is floaty, so you can bring that around. It doesn't hinder your articulation. And the pants, also, which something I didn't mention. The pants for the Piccolo 2.0 were a lot more shiny, and they really fixed that. I feel like it really stood out weirdly, especially the lower half of the pants was a lot more shiny. And this one just looks clean overall. It's just like it has the same color, it has the same vibe of the purple going on, and we don't have like a couple of different variations of it scattered throughout the figure. And yes, you have the rounded feet with a lot more of a light brown in there, and a little bit of skin still peeking out of the feet. The lower half, the ankles, and yeah, that's pretty much it for his looks. Now, I mostly care about the aesthetics when I compare to the old one. I'm not going to compare every single aspect of the figure. I did review Piccolo 2.0, so if you want to go back to that and refresh your memory on it, feel free to do so, but I'm just gonna, from here on out, I'm just gonna keep my eye on this figure. So, articulation. The head doesn't really do that much on its own, has some wiggle motion, does tilt side to side, and does go all the way around. But I held on to the neck, because if you combine the two, it does look forward very nicely, also goes to the back cleanly, and also the neck does have some side-to-side movement. So overall, it does the job. For your shoulder articulation, obviously you have this part which is covering up. It's just connected in the back, the flap over here, just connected via ball pack, so it does move out of the way pretty freely, but it can kind of get crumpled up and everything, so be aware of that. You have the big hinge in the shoulder area, which is connected to another ball in there, so you can rotate that around a little bit. And as you can tell, there's something moving in there as well. You do have the butterfly joint. Let me move this out of the way. You do have the butterfly joint. They wing the arm forward an unnatural amount, but it does look cool if you get everything lined up and you do try to cover up them holes. And you can also rotate it obviously in here. You have a bicep swivel, the double hinged elbow, which by the way, I didn't really show you that, but it looks kind of wonky. They just kind of painted the joint over there. There's not much more you can do with it with like a double hinge joint. You can't really mold it, I guess. Given the circumstances, I don't know what else you would have done. Then you have another ball hinge for the fist, moves up and down, also rotates. Chest area is actually very nimble. It does leave a little bit of a gap, but you can't cover it up if you move it around. You can wiggle it around. Goes to the back, goes forward, does tilt side to side, and does go pretty much all the way around. Don't scratch it too much. For the hip part, you can rotate this all the way around with the belt, and it does not really get that much because of the belt. It really takes some wiggling around, but it does go to the back. And then if you get it into the right position, it has like a shifting mechanism a little bit. And right now I don't really get it to move forward. That's really as much as I get, which is weird. So gotta work with the chest on that one. A little bit disappointing, but it does rotate all the way around. Then for the leg movement, which is excellent, goes forward quite a bit, goes to the back, is not hindered by any butt mold, also goes out to the side very nicely. It's covered up, fair enough. And then you also have some movement over here, more like a swivel. Then you have the double hinged knee, goes up like that. And for the foot, we have some nice rotation on the lower half. Does tilt side to side on the entire boot, well not really boot, his shoe. Rotates all the way around, and you do get also a toe hinge. Now for your accessories, it's really bare bones, but at this point, I gotta mention one thing. This figure cost me at Hobby Link Japan 35 euros. So, selling those figures very cheap in Japan, but obviously you have to add shipping, you have to add customs, depending on where you live, so it's gonna cost you a lot more if you're living outside of Japan, which probably most of you people watching this video do, but anyway, that's why you don't have a lot of accessories. But what is here looks really good. I love the face sculpts. You really have that Piccolo vibe of it. Got the open mouth, the tongue is also painted in there, and it looks clean. It just looks very nice. This eye is a little bit smaller than the other one, and I'm wondering if that was intentional or not. Either way, if it was intentional, I think it looks good. If it wasn't intentional, I still don't care because I think it looks good. Then you have two blast hands, your standard Dragon Ball stuff, two grabby hands, booby grab hands, and the one Makenkusapo, if that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. And yeah, that's it. Final thoughts. I'm happy. I'm really happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. I like this figure. This figure is great. This is the best Piccolo SH Figuarts has ever done. It's a million times better than the first release. It's better than Piccolo Daimao. It's better than Piccolo 2.0. Because that's the main thing about this figure. I expected for them, for SH Figuarts, Bandai, to just go ahead for the superhero characters, to just go ahead and take the old characters, give them a snazzy new repaint, repackage them, and go ahead and buy it. This is not what this is. This is the improved, retuned, refined version of Piccolo 2.0. All the small issues I had with that figure, they improved on and made it better, and as such, we got a better figure. The only downside to this figure is that he doesn't have a cape and the head that comes with it, but you can swap it out. You can swap the head from Piccolo 2.0 and you can put on the cape as I've shown you. Now, obviously that means you have to buy Piccolo 2.0 just to get a cape for this guy, which is a little bit of a bummer, but also at the price point, it's still a more budget type figure when it comes to the entire SH Figuarts lineup, and as such, I approve it. I will recommend it. Thank you very much. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel. I got many more figure reviews of SH Figuarts, Dragon Ball stuff, and my specialty is Figma. If you want to check those out, if you're new to the channel, I highly appreciate all of you. So stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Piccolo wants.